All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome for our short-term rental property tour. We've been hitting y'all over the head with short-term rentals. If you don't get that, listen, Chinnadu's been killing. He's been showing us the way. He's my mentor now. And I just want to get this thing started. I'm joined by my illustrious panel, Joey Styles, myself, and Jerry. And we got some other great investors in the building. What's going on, fellas?
Let's
And Big
go.
J. Where's Jason's picture? Holy moly, I'm missing Jay from this one. I must have took the old slide. My bad, Jay. You didn't even say anything this morning. You must take the rose line. Anyway, welcome. But we all know machinery is here. Take my picture off, put the machinery there. So what's going on? How's everybody
Figure
feeling?
his picture would be in the next slide by himself.
He should be by himself in the next line.
Yeah, he should be. What's up, y'all? Good afternoon. And I'm excited to be here because, mostly because of the investor, man. The investor here featured today, his journey is so inspiring because of, you know, I got the privilege to see his growth. And usually when people get started in this business, there's a journey you have to get on, right? You got to get on the road and you got to get to a place. And I know he has more things to accomplish, but how he got here today is what you're gonna get to feast on, and hopefully you can take that and do it for yourself. And I enjoy watching his journey and his growth, and I can't wait for you guys and girls, of course, to see what he's done and how he's got here. Right? Make sure you have your questions because that's where you can do it for yourself, right? With your questions, things that you want to know, things that you would want to know from him, this is your time. So make sure you tap in, listen in, and start typing in your questions. Like, how did you do? How did you, you know what I mean? So hopefully you get that, man. And shout to the investor, Big Chin. He's doing such great things for himself, his family, and the community. And I can't wait to see hit another property tour, see what he got going on. Back to you, Ron.
And he's got one in the tuck, by the way.
They see, it's crazy.
And he's got one in the tuck. So that's about it.
It's
Stick
so
around if you want to
insane,
know
man.
more about it.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to say anything before we get started?
Hey, I just want to say, man, Big Chin, bro. I've been around this community for about 10 years, right? Going on 10 years. And like Joe said, being able to watch a student go from a student to an instructor, because I see that path for you for real. You know, you being able to take this lane and really kind of showcasing this on a bigger platform to the entire community. I see that for you. You know what I'm saying? And for all the new people that's getting to watch you grow, you know what I'm saying? They getting to see it in real time. So, this is real powerful, bro. Keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing, bro. You the man, bro. For sure.
All right. Jay, you want to say something? No. I know
Nope.
Jay.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. None other than the big Chinadu. All right. Started from humble beginnings, from a law student. Now he took his journey into wholesaling. Then he moved on to short-term rentals and he's just flourished ever since. This guy is amazing. He's got 18 thriving short-term rental units and plus more probably. Has become the go-to expert in our community and has helped multiple team members secure highly profitable STR deals. Myself want to be included, proving that discipline and focus can change everything. Welcome in, my guy, Chinadu. Big.
Nice. You guys can hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Happy Sunday, everyone. Good afternoon. Wow, we got 36 people on today. That's nice. That's really nice. Wow, thank you for the intro, guys. Thank you for the intro. Hey, my name is Chinadu Bay, and I'm 29, born and raised in New York City, and I don't got nothing on Jerry. Jerry said he's been here 10 years. I've been with the community for about 4 years now. I've been connecting with these guys and man, I went from, just graduating college and having no job, just got fired from my only source of income. And, having no real estate knowledge, no real estate skills, and honestly, no information about anything useful in life. Like literally just had finished graduating college and that's still how I felt. And 4 years later, they helped me do my first real estate deals, helped me and my family pay off debt, learn about taxes and write-offs, and I'm just grateful that I was able to help to get into the game with, support and community and education. And now I'm here, still around, thankful, still actively doing deals and just being able to share my experience. That part never gets old. 'Cause I remember, not knowing nothing, needing the help and coming to tours like this and, using it to start my own journey and give myself some confidence and give myself some hope to keep pushing. So very grateful that everybody's here on this Sunday. I'm grateful to be here also to share, this new deal with you guys, and I'm really excited to get into it.
All right. Let me do my disclaimer, and then you can take over the slides after that because you got a great story to tell about this one. So anyway, welcome, Chindu. You can see him on all social media platforms. Follow him. He's a real investor and he's always in action, always. And again, following examples when money is made by applying real estate investing education and support. These results depend on a variety of unique factors and opportunity. Again, this is just an example. Each real estate investment is unique as the real estate itself. And with that being said, Chin, tell us how you found this deal. What's going on with this one? Because I didn't even know about it. I had no idea about this one.
Yeah, this one kind of happened. Oh, you guys can see my screen?
Uh, uh, it's coming up. It's loading. Yeah, there we go. Got
There
it.
we go.
Nice. Yeah, this one kind of just came up. A crazy, crazy story on this one. So this was a house I saw on Zillow back in 2024. It's a 5-bed, 3-bath in San Antonio, Texas. And when I first saw it on Zillow, it was advertised for $2,700 for rent. Right. So I just reached out. It looked like a house that we would do, based on our criteria. So when I reached out, it was 2,700. I gave the owner an offer, maybe I think of like $2,500 rent. And, he declined. He said, he can get it rented out, no problem. So fast forward a few months later, I see it's still on Zillow for rent, but this time it's 2,400. So I reached out to the owner on WhatsApp. I says it's still up for grabs because I saw the price had dropped and it's still rent. I think it was on the market for about 90 days at this point, maybe even more than that, but around 90 days. So I asked him, still up for grabs. He said yes, still flexible on rent. He said make him an offer. I told him 1943, we'll take care of the house because, um, I previously pitched him and we would take care of the house, we'll be the best tenants ever, everything that we go over in the script in the summit. So these are pictures of the house before. So this is what I saw. This is what made me reach out on Zillow. This was like a foyer. I saw it was very spacious. I always like taking houses or units that have like an extra space so we can set it up to be something. This was the living room. It's pretty big. This is a really, really big house. This is like the walkway. This is also the living room, goes into the kitchen and dining room. I can see the chat. So if you guys have any questions about anything I'm going over, feel free to throw it in the chat. So this was the kitchen. It was a pretty solid house. When I looked at the comps in the area, I saw a lot of them also had the round cabinets and the towels on the floor. So, it was pretty much in line with what people wanted. Some of the bedrooms, it had carpets. I wasn't really in love with it, but it was what it was. It's the bathroom. So yeah, this was a house. It's like an extra living area space where you can just chill out upstairs. This attracted me to it as well because I knew we could have turned this into something nice. This was the master bedroom, which was really, really huge. It's like a entire New York City apartment, that bedroom. Master bathroom, another bedroom. So you guys get the picture. The house it was clean,
So
had carpet.
let me ask a question because some people are probably
Mhm.
wondering, right? What when you said you pitched them, you proposed to them, right? What what was your strategy? What were you thinking? Because some people may not know about short-term rentals and stuff like that, and the different ways you can get into it, right? So you said listen for rent. So it sounds like you were gonna rent it, but how the heck most people want to buy the house? So just kind of help people understand like what did you have in mind with the strategy for this property?
Gotcha. Okay. So when I first saw this house, what I wanted to do was short-term rental arbitrage. And that's basically where, I rent the house and I sublease it, right? Just to keep it really, just really simple. So I was gonna rent the house and sublease it. Um, I also buy properties, but my favorite thing about short-term rental arbitrage is I don't need to own the house. I don't need to commit to it. I don't need to come to the table with a large down payment and then also, a good amount of money to furnish the house as well. So I just wanted to rent it. I wanted to test it out. I wanted to get in there as quickly as possible and just furnish it really nice and throw it up on a platform like Airbnb. Hope that was clear. So yeah, when I pitched him, I just pitched that, hey, we'll rent this house. We'll stay here for, more than a usual tenant would. We'll take care of the house. We'll have it cleaned about 4 or 5 times a month. We'll handle all maintenance under a certain dollar amount. And man, we'll just be the best tenants ever. And that was the pitch. And, him and a lot of landlords find value in it. So that's why he was open to even going back and forth with me about it. So, yeah, so we just had to decide on price, to be honest. So this was the house. So we ended up not being able to decide on price. He wanted 2,400, and at that point, it was like, you know what? We were still doing deals in the midst of us following up with this guy. So, we were doing deals. I was short on capital because we just had finished the house, and I pitched him. I said, hey, if I take on this house, I can't rent it from you anymore. But what I can do is do short-term rental management for you, where you run it like an Airbnb with my guidance, and I'll manage it for you every single month. You don't have to worry about anything. You can still get your income. He was really big on, he heard about the short-term rental tax loophole, so he wanted to take advantage of that strategy and lower his tax burden. So with him just confessing that to me, I just turned around and made him an offer based on that. So he took a while. Still, this was back in January. He took a while, and he said he's just gonna shop it on the market. It's gonna get rented. So here we are in August of 2025 this year. He finally comes back and said, "You know what, Chinadu? I can't get rented. It's been on the market for about 180 days. Let's do this management." So we signed a management agreement. I let him know everything that I would do for him, and whether it's handle all guest messaging, handle the maintenance, the cleaning, the designing, the furnishing. Like I would handle all of that stuff. The only thing he needs to do is provide me access to the property and all the capital, to pretty much get it started. So before I keep moving forward, any questions?
I think you're good, man. I think you're flowing. So I guess yeah, I guess kind of continue on with where you at. Story sounding good. You found it. And where'd you find it? You said on
I found it on Zillow.
okay, found this property on Zillow. You're going about your way. You thought about your strategy to rent it out. Well, you'll be the tenant and you rent it on Airbnb to other people, subleasing it. So then what about as far as furnishing it, because it looked pretty empty, right? So tell us about that.
Gotcha. So yeah, after going back and forth with the owner, and man, this guy was so difficult to work with because he's so cheap and he used to do it himself, then he stopped. He's kind of like uneducated, so he was just inputting his 2 cents on everything just based on what he thought made sense. So it was very, very difficult to work with this guy, but we just kept pushing, and finally after sending people to the house. I had to send people to the house to get measurements, to get better pictures and videos of spaces that wasn't on Zillow and also of the garage, so we can set it up and figure out what was the best furniture to buy. And yeah, this is a picture of all of the boxes that we ordered from Amazon, Wayfair. We even tried out Temu this time, which was a nightmare. Man, Temu has great prices, but the delivery speed, they be lying. They really be lying, man. So Yeah, we after a while this setup took a very, very long time. This was actually the most difficult setup I've ever had in my life. I do a lot of remote setups, but this one was really challenging. One reason why it was challenging was one, it was a brand new city for me. I don't have a team in San Antonio, so when this deal was ready to move, it moved faster than I thought it was going to. So I didn't have that much time to build a reliable team. Another reason why it was difficult because with Temu, a lot of stuff either got delayed very, very late. Like this deal is set up and on Airbnb right now, and there's still things getting delivered to the storage unit. Like things are just now still getting there. So that was one. Because the owner was so cheap, he didn't usually when I do management for owners, they fly me out because yes, I can build a team virtually and set it up virtually. I've done it successfully, but no one's gonna care about the project like me, whether they're getting paid or not. So that's the value of me telling people like, hey, pay for my flight, pay for my rental, and I'll go down there and I'll work 2 in the morning just to make sure everything is going right. He didn't see value in it. The guy would really refused to pay for my flight. He said he can save more money if he went there by himself and hired some guy on Craigslist, which he tried to, and that slowed us up about 2 weeks because he couldn't get a flight down there because of work. So, those are just some of the challenges we went through during this deal. And, as I look at more pictures, so I know the rest will come up. So these are the boxes. We transferred it from the storage unit to the house, and then from there, we probably got started building it about 2 weeks later once I found somebody who would build it. And
Hey,
these,
bro. Hey, bro. So,
go ahead.
are you gonna stop using Temu for all the haters in the chat right here? Are you stop using Temu?
So what I learned from that was, right. I spoke to somebody that works at Wayfair. Like I have a connect at Wayfair. Shout out to Sam, right? He put me on. Um, she was like how Temu's growing, they have local warehouses now, but she was like how Temu use the same local warehouses as Wayfair, so it'll be cheaper and better shipping speed if I get it from Wayfair. So she advised that if I buy from Temu, that I should only buy it if it says shipped from Temu and I should avoid the local warehouse, item because those are going to take way longer than they promise. And at least with the one shipped from Temu, it's cheaper or more inexpensive, I should say. And when they say it's gonna come in 3 weeks, you can budget 3 weeks. So I just learned how to shop smarter on the website pretty much. But I probably wouldn't do it again. It wasn't worth the headache. It definitely wasn't worth the headache. They just have a lot of cool props that you can't find on Amazon or Wayfair, but you'll find the same thing for like a real better price. Like when we go over the numbers, you'll see how much it would have cost or should have cost to furnish this huge house, but we was able to keep it right under budget, thank God. Thank God for him at least. So, good question. These are the after photos. So this is the living room. So if you see anything unique, that more than likely came from Temu. This is the living room. We put 3 king size couches there. So these couches all turn into 3 king beds. This is like the foyer area on the right. Try to make it as much as a Instagram worthy area. So as soon as you walk in, I know the ladies are gonna pull out their cameras and make the best of it. This is a kitchen. We always keep it fully loaded. Pots, pans, rice cookers, cookbooks, knives, everything you're gonna need. This is a huge house. This house can sleep about 23 people. So we know we needed enough silverware and cooking utensils for a family to actually enjoy themselves here. This is the dining area, more of the kitchen. This is the bedroom. And it's so funny about this bedroom. I thought if I put the bed and the couch in here, it would eat up some of this empty space. But this room is huge. This room is the size of literally a New York City apartment. So there was still a lot of space left in this bedroom. This is a master bathroom. We started doing this thing where we throw robes in the house. We saw a lot of people in the area raving about it. So, we do that in there based on market research. We do king beds in all of the bedrooms, TVs in all the bedrooms. This is another bedroom. So funny story about these chairs, right? So these chairs came with legs on them, like pegs, like four pegs, four legs, and one of them came broken. So we just ended up taking all the legs off the chairs and just sitting them down there. And I think they came out pretty nice. Like you can't even tell that something's missing. This is another bedroom. Always make sure we put the desk in the bedroom and a king bed and TVs in every bedroom. This is another king size bedroom. And this is that open space that we saw upstairs. So we had so many plans for this, for things that did not happen. This was supposed to be like an exercise, relaxing area. It was supposed to have like exercise bikes and what else? And more yoga mats and, gym equipment. But a lot of that stuff got lost in transit. We never got it. Thankfully we were able to get a refund. So we literally just had to improvise. So I bought these chairs with the orange cushions on it on Amazon. But what I failed to do out of, lack of time, I failed to read how big it was. And these things are really like real tiny, and I didn't even read that they were for kids. So luckily it fits the vibe with the small table, so we'll see what kind of feedback we get from that from guests. But we think it kind of, it was good for the time that we needed it for. And this is a garage. I'm not sure if you guys saw the garage floor, but it looks so disgusting before this. And we put these peel and stick floor tiles in the garage, and we just wanted to make this like a little entertainment area where people can just, whether you want to play chess, you want to play golf, you want to play fight with the lifesavers, you want to play air hockey, basketball. There's some board games there. You have something to entertain yourself and your kids for as many hours as possible. Like we just had our first guest 2 days ago, and it was a family of 16, 8 adults, 8 kids. So you can imagine having 8 kids in the house, how annoying that must be. So having a place to really entertain them and put their focus away from you is always a blessing. Always a blessing. This is more of the bathroom. This is the laundry room. We do these stickers on the wall. This has kind of been like the signature for a little bit now. This is the backyard. We put like a fire pit and some chairs. There's a cold plunge. There's more seating, a dog house, kind of like a playhouse for kids right there. There's also some cool kid toys in there. There's a soccer net, a swing set. We just tried our best to make it as entertaining as possible based on his budget. And then this is a video walkthrough. And the coolest thing about this is that, the owner is going to be reaping all the benefits of this, and he's going to be making cash flow, but he didn't really have to lift a finger. He didn't have to spend any mental capacity thinking about design or how it's going to be set up. So this definitely worked for his busy schedule, his demanding schedule. So this is just a video walkthrough that my who did this? I think my cleaner took this. I'll make it full screen. Does it look full screen for you guys?
Coming up. There it is.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna press play. It's just gonna be a quick video walkthrough before everything is actually finished. Yeah, my guy worked really hard on this. I think he took this video like 2 in the morning. So because I'm not doing any of the furniture building myself, every day when someone's working, I have them take pictures and videos from when they get there to when they're about to leave, just so I can make sure, the project is still rolling how it's supposed to. This project was taking so long, like way longer than it was supposed to. Man, the owner was every single day Well, not every day, every other day. Are we done? Are we done? Are we live? Are we ready to go live online? Is everything finished? Or I'm concerned we're not going to be finished on time. Like he was really bugging me. This is my first like going. I've been to like conferences where they talk about, managing owner expectation, but this one was kind of like, oh man, I'm actually living it. So that was a video walkthrough. And yeah, that was the house. That's how I found the house. That's how we were able to set up a deal. And that's how it looked before and how it looks currently. Nice. And here's the knowledge. Like I said, when I started with this group about 4 years ago, I knew nothing. I went to college thinking I was going to be a criminal justice lawyer, man. Like I was going to be fighting cases in the law room. And, just as I got into my third semester, I realized that's really not what I want to do. I don't want to be on, a strict schedule. I don't want to wear a suit all day. I want to wear hoodies. I want to relax. I want to have that flexibility and, just being a lawyer didn't align with, I guess my personality. So I came here really knowing no real estate knowledge, nothing about business ownership, nothing about this stuff. So shortly after joining the community, I learned about all of that stuff and was able to kind of, formulate my own path. So, if you want to get more into short-term rental strategy, whether it's you buying the house or renting the house like I was looking to do, or maybe even do management like I'm doing on this deal where none of the risk is on me and I'm just leveraging knowledge. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. I will be going over, this strategy, more about the knowledge of it, more about how to get into it and execute so you can do it as well. That's tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I'm gonna have my summit December 6th and 7th. That's just gonna be wow. Time flies. That's gonna be this weekend during the summit. We're gonna talk about everything that I'm doing on this deal right now, like how to do the deal with no money, how to find good deals, how to reach out to landlords, how to automate the business, how to leverage your credit, leverage your job, leverage your personal connection so you can start doing short-term rental deals just like this one. You guys gonna go over this calendar?
Well, what you're seeing there, right? That's just in our community. What we have there are the different events that come up. And as you can see, there's something every day because we believe that if you're gonna do real estate, if you're really, really gonna get into it, it's something that you can exercise your muscles or train your muscles every single day. So there's always something going on in our community for someone to tap into. So you're never lost, or if you feel like you're lost, you can always look at let's see what's going on. Let me see what I can tap into. So that's just our calendar where we're showing that right there. So you could go to the next one.
Nice questions. Let's get the questions going.
Well, I'm gonna go right. So one of the questions I see, Jay. Jay, you want to go? I saw your thing on. Uh, there's a lot of questions in the chat, though. First of all, we're gonna tend to that. There's a lot of questions in the chat, but right now, I guess we could throw our investor hats on, and wonder what you had, some of the numbers you had to go through with this. So, the question I want to know is, with all that Timu stuff and all that, what did it cost you to furnish this property? I wonder what everybody would. I would want to throw in my guess to know what the furnishing cost, because you kept saying it's so huge, it's so big. So with all the furniture, I'm wondering what did it cost to furnish that whole house?
Yeah, this house was really, really big, 3,300
Three
square foot.
thousand three
Yeah.
hundred.
And I still think that it was kind of underfurnished if you see all that empty space.
So
Wow.
this question is for not for you. This is for
Hmm.
everyone who's the 40, almost 50 people on here.
Yes.
That question is for y'all. So
Yes.
we want everybody to get their, little ability to run numbers and kind of visualize what it will look like to be inside of a real estate deal or transaction. So please, in the chat. I see Daniel Clay already set it off, but we asking y'all, what do y'all think it cost him, or how much would you guys put in, you think, to furnish a property of that magnitude? So a little over 3,000 square feet. How much you think it costs to furnish that property the way it is right now? So we got a 17,000 from Daniel. Sam says 20 grand. Ms. Royalty says 16. Jessica says 22. Matthew says 13K. Furnishing? I think you meant, I don't know what that meant.
Furnishing.
Shaw
Is that
said,
a word? Furnishing? It might be.
I'm gonna ignore it. Shaw said 23. I'm gonna act like that didn't even happen, yo.
That might be a word though. Furnishing might be a word. Furnishing.
I'm gonna leave it alone, like I said. Shepard said 18 grand. What's up, Shep? Ain't seen you in a minute. Jay Lou, what up, Jay? He says 25 grand. So the lowest so far is the 13K, whatever word. And the highest looks like about 25 so far. Jonathan, what's up, Jonathan? He said 15K. Todd says 20K. Michaela says 23 and a half. And I love Leslie's number, 15,707. Oh my God, $737. Oh my God, she was definitely shopping on Temu.
Yeah, very
Brian
precise.
Brian said,
Right.
for who? What do you mean? See,
Well,
Ryan,
the cost for the investor, Ryan. The cost we're asking the room, like Jay said, the cost. What do they think it costs to furnish that house with all that furniture? So the cost would be for Chin, correct?
right, that's what I said, for the investor. You're furnishing this house. This is
Oh,
Well, if they
he
was
put
listening
0.
earlier, if they was listening, they would
He
heard.
said 0.
So he said 0.
Mm.
And again, so that all, see, Ryan's getting technical as usual. But anyway,
Well, Damir said 0 too. You know, so it gives it gives us the opportunity to deal with the 0 and the other numbers. So I think
yeah,
that's good.
I think it's good.
It's good.
That's 21 grand. Chanel says 24. Jerry says 13K, the Temu special. Maria says 17K. Ryan's got a 0. Demir's got a 0. And Sindrell, what's up, Sindrell? Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in forever. She says owner supply capital. Okay. And Naya says 15 and a half. All right.
Interesting numbers.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good thoughts, y'all. And it shows who's putting it, they're really thinking about this on a different level. So all of this is good. All right. My number I want to know is, well, I want the everybody to answer is what do y'all think the cash flow is on this? What is the cash flow? What do you feel the cash flow would be on this, a property like this?
That's mine is kind of intricate. Like who's getting the cash flow? I want to know it. No,
Well, it should be only one person receiving cash flow.
oh, not really.
And so Ryan is like, who's cash flow?
Yeah, who's cash? Yeah,
The other one's really not cash flow though.
people are getting money.
I am gonna put a number.
I say
That's pretty good. Yeah. What do you think this huge house is getting in cash flow?
Right. With the house, there's only one cash flow. And that's the operate of the house. The other is not really cash flow. That's an expense management. Right. Big shot. I agree. So we got, ooh, the numbers is flowing. I'm sorry, y'all. I lost track. So Alvin says 2 grand. Matthew says 1,700. Ms. Rosie says 1,800, I assume. Yes, okay, cool. Daniel says 2 grand. Ryan says 200 for Chin.
800.
800 for Chin, but no, we said Anyway, Renee says 2,500. Joey says
Yeah.
I
1,500.
like these numbers. Like,
Jessica says 2,500. Naya says a stack. Shep says 2K. Sam says 2K after concessions, 1,300. Oh man, see the short-term rental people, concessions. People probably like, well, what the heck is a concession? All this it's
Ryan
getting
love
deep, y'all.
The
Ryan love
short-term rental
It's
people type it
getting
in. They
deep.
like, wait a minute.
It's
Stay on him,
getting
Ryan.
deep.
Stay on him, Ryan.
This this
All
this is
right.
this what happens when you get smart.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. The smart guys are here.
The smart people are here.
LaShawn says 900 for Chin's cash flow. That again, I wouldn't consider with Chin getting cash flow, but hey, maybe I'm misunderstanding. Chanel says 1,100. Ryan's laughing. Of course, he'd laugh. We know you, Ryan. It's always good to have Big Ryan in the building.
Love it.
He
Love it.
definitely has people thinking. Leslie, another interesting number, $1,777. I love Leslie's numbers. You should hang out with my homegirl Renee, who's on here. Shaw says Chin charges 1,500. All right, well, what's the cash flow for the property though? Chin charges 1,500. Is that one time or is that every month?
How you know what I charge?
Right. I'm like, where are these numbers coming from? They're accusing Chin of all types of stuff going on. Sheesh. Every month, he says.
Renee said she stopped with those crazy numbers. She started rounding off.
I don't believe her. I know you don't either. All right. And what's the last question? Jerry, you throw the last question, man. We're gonna figure out who's the closest to all of this stuff. What you think? What you got, Big Jerry?
My question for Chin is that I want him to answer is it's kind of it's not really numbers though.
So then that's not the question we're looking for. We're looking for to ask the people listening, watching, logged in, as far as what numbers are we looking for within the property?
I know.
All right, I'll ask one since you can't think. What do y'all think Chin Pay is paying? Because he said that they didn't really figure that out. So what do you think he's paying? Well, actually, what's the lease payment? How much is the lease payment to rent this property?
So I remember they was asking 24.
Yeah, he was talking 24.
It was at 24, right?
This is a trick question. I'm gonna say that right now.
But I think he said it earlier.
yeah,
right?
when I first saw the lead, he was renting it for 27, and then when I followed up, he was
He was
asking
like
for 24.
1943. Yeah, 1943.
This is a trick question.
Now it's at
There you go, Matt.
1843.
Matt know it is.
1943.
19.
What
The
is
$43 is genius.
All right, let's see what we got. Dan said, we need to know what's the average rent for surrounding houses. Not necessarily. Alvin says 1,900. Again, it's just a guess, man. There's no, no one's gonna make you pay the money because you get the answer wrong, right? Jessica says 2,500. Chanel says 1,950. Ryan, oh, is there a Lisa though? Oh man.
Is there a lease though?
Yeah, that's why I said my question was a trick question. Ryan's on to me. Jessica says 1,500. Naya says 1,843. Michaela says 2,100. Who else? Matthew says 1,943. That's what Jasmine said 1,800. Ms. Royalty 2 grand. LaShawn 1,500. Cinderell 2,200. Shaw says 0. And Renee says there is no lease.
Yeah, we'll stop right there.
All right, cool. Y'all paying attention to some of this stuff here. Y'all got your thinking hats on. See how real estate could get a lot more trickier than people may think. All right. Drum roll. Who's got one Who got the three answers correct? We're gonna find out right now. Let's get it, Chin.
These are the numbers right here. So these are the numbers for the owner. This was his cost. So his startup cost was $7,000, which included the cleaners, the furniture builder. He also had some maintenance issues with the house that he needed to get fixed, which is another reason why I'm so happy why I did not actually rent this house. Because man, he had to spend maybe like $2,200 just to do like landlord stuff. So 7K in startup costs. The furniture for this 5 bed, 3 bath, 3,300 square foot house was 24,000. His mortgage payment, so there is no lease payment. I'm not leasing it, I'm not renting it, I'm managing it for the owner, right? So his mortgage payment is $2,400. He was just looking to break even when he was looking to rent it for 2,400. His utilities and internet is 600. His maintenance and operations, which is like cleaning and maintenance and subscriptions and like software costs, $1,400. My management fee of 10%, $600. So I'll be making $600 a month on average just to manage it for him. And his total expenses every month is about 5 grand. And his monthly revenue would be about 5,900. And his cash flow will be $900 on this house that he was only looking to break even on. So that's pretty impressive.
All right. I got a couple questions, but
Yeah, I got a whole lot of questions.
Bring it on, bring it on.
all right. So those are the numbers, right? Those are the numbers. Now, my first one is 10% of what?
Okay, 10% of the monthly revenue. Oh, so it should be around like 5,900.
590.
Yeah,
Yeah,
590,
I
five
got
ninety.
I got you. All right. Got it. All right, cool. I'll ask my next questions later.
how much of management, I guess, do you allow him to be in to know about, right? Because it ain't gonna be ready yet. It ain't listed yet. Like how much space do you give him to, you know about what's going on? Because obviously he's trying to learn what to do. So how do you create that
Yeah,
space, that boundary?
good question. So after the summit, when I start doing like weekly masterminds about short-term rentals on Thursdays in January, I'm going to be speaking a lot more about, how to create opportunities, like how to create these management deals and what's the agreement to make sure that the owner is not inputting on operation. You want to be able to operate smoothly with no headaches. So I handle everything and he's not involved in a day-to-day operation whatsoever. Every month I just give him literally just an end of month report on how the unit did. I'll show him, all the bookings that came in and all the information that he would like to know. But as far as that, that's the only input he has. And of course, if there's like maintenance issues that he can get covered with his insurance, I'd involve him. But other than that, he has no involvement in the day-to-day activity. And I'm gonna go over that a lot in the summit in December and then also in those weekly short-term rental masterminds.
All right.
Because the owner would definitely make or break your deal. So you want to make sure you have that set up correctly.
All right, cool. So yeah, I guess get to the last slides and then we can start the Q&A session. So there's still like 50 people on, so we can
Nice.
we're gonna go through the questions for everybody. Let's get people's questions answered. So yeah, go through these slides. Should be a couple more, right?
Yeah, I think it is. So this is my cost, right? So I have no furniture cost, I have no lease payment, I have no ongoing costs whatsoever. Like he's even paying for my software costs to run this property like a professional, like pricing tools, property management software, all the things you need to operate professionally. So my management fee to get started was $3,000 because, man, it is a lot of work to pick out furniture and to, build the team and to figure out where every piece of furniture is going to go. So to start this deal, I made $3,000. Imagine no money out your pocket and you're getting paid to do the deal, just leveraging some information that you know to help someone else execute. So $3,000 management fee to get started, and then around 590, $600 every single month to just manage it for the owner. So no money out my pocket from start to finish for the entirety of the deal, but still get to walk away with some cash flow and some money up front. And this is the beauty of, I am short on cash, but I learned what to do. And now I can help somebody else do it, right? So this is a great strategy that I'm going to go over in the summit for the people who, don't know where to get the money or don't think they have enough money to get started, but know that when they get the information, they still know how to make an opportunity out of it. Keep going. And yeah, that's pretty much all the numbers for the deal.
So, please, y'all, throw your questions in the chat. We got plenty of time. You can go follow the panelists, me. Well, that's not right, but it's Bar Raiser J on Instagram, Joe Styles, my man Ron Carp, and Jerry. I don't even think his is right either, right? His is J Ruff something, and then Chinadu is relationship.rich. Follow us all on Instagram, connect with us, and we will start a nice QA session. Get some questions answered. So I'm gonna set it off, right? And here's my question. My question before we turn it over to everyone in the chat is, so this guy's had this property sitting out there. You said maybe probably like 6 months or so on and so forth. He
Here, man.
he bought it, right? He
Hmm.
bought it. So did he buy it like with this sole purpose, just randomly bought the house and just said, you know what, I'm just going to use it for short term rental? What was his vision when he bought the house? Did you get that?
Yeah, so he had a long-term renter in there and they
Oh,
left early to go buy a house, but they were still on the hook for a lease. So they had left and he was still getting lease payments, and that's why, he wasn't in the rush to budge on price because the old tenant was still paying for the lease. So it was
okay.
vacant. He got to advertise it, but he wasn't bleeding money, you know.
Mm,
But, he finally reached out to me once that tenant's lease was finally about to end. They weren't going to be on the hook for it. And then, even after their lease ended, it was still empty for about 3 to 5 months before he actually said, you know what, Chinadu, let's go ahead and do this management thing that you pitched.
got it. All right. So that gives a lot more information. Now, my follow-up on that is, how did you like, for lack of a better word, convince or persuade or show him that he would now have to invest, what was it, another like 30,000 or something like that into this
Hmm.
in order for it to start making money? Because you know what I'm saying? Most people be like, well, yeah, I'm not putting no more money into this house. Like, I already got the house. So he had to put another 30. Like, how did you convey that to him to make him feel comfortable to do that?
So I kind of set the expectation straight, right? So even when I first reached out to him about it, to rent it as a lease to so I can do short-term rentals myself, I told him like, hey, I really can't pay your rent price. I have to put about 25 to 30 grand into it and still have to pay myself back. And the house isn't gonna make like I didn't think for a house this big that it was making enough money. It only shows that this house is gonna make about 60K. So it was like, man, to put up around 30K to only make 60K, like that didn't seem worth it to me. So I set that expectation straight from the beginning. And then one of the challenges he also had that he told me, thankfully, right? He was like how tenants were interested, but their problem was it's going to take a lot of money to furnish the house,
Right.
right? And they didn't see the value of furnishing a large house like this if they only plan on living there for about 1 to 2 years. In this economy, 30K just to furnish a house is pretty crazy for a renter, right? So he knew himself, based on me telling him and other tenants telling him that it's gonna take him, X amount of dollars to furnish it. So I think that's what made, him be able to chew that a little bit easier. But yeah, he had no choice. And I showed him the comps, I showed him the numbers, I showed him how much money he can make. And then he also really wanted to take advantage of um, because short-term rentals, you have a lot of tax write-offs, right? So he wanted to take advantage of the short-term rental loophole because his accountant recommended it to him as well. So it was kind of like a win. I don't think it took that much to convince him, but just having that information and knowledge to be able to share and overcome that concern was pretty cool.
Cool. All right, that's all I got.
I just wanted to say, man, I love the whole management strategy you got going on. I really love it because, man, like it don't cost you nothing, and you're getting paid for your knowledge. So this so people would ask themselves that question, like, how can I make money in real estate or something involved in real estate? And I don't have no money. So that's really a question that goes through a person's mind, has gone through my mind. And for you to show that today, I think was brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Just to show, like, look, I just, from what I know, I just help somebody manage their short-term rental, and look at what I can make. Because I know how hard it is for some people, for individuals, especially ones that come to our community, to just get a little extra income. And I think this is just a real nice strategy that's not even talked about that much. Like people don't talk about, hey, I can make money just managing for my knowledge. And it's good, and it goes to show how important the knowledge is, bro. And what made you what made you want to showcase this? What sparked your, like, yo, I want to showcase this to some people.
Because bro, I speak to a lot of people, right, that want to
Mhm.
get into the game, and it's so cool that they want to get into the game for whatever reason. They want to fire their boss and replace their job, or maybe they're a stay-home parent and they think that they can do this remote and make some extra money on the side. I speak to people like that, right? And one of the things that they tell me is, I don't got no money, right? I don't got no money. I don't got no credit. They don't got anybody who could lend them some money. So I tell them like, yo, come to the summit. Like, I'm gonna show you how to do this short-term rental strategy with no money, like legit. Like even if I can get the money, I'm still looking for ways I can, create opportunities and do deals with no money. So this is why I wanted to showcase this deal, to show people that as long as you get the information, right, and you do the steps that you need to, you can literally leverage your knowledge and make money out of thin air, right? So yeah, I definitely wanted to show people that is not only is it, possible, like here it is, right? Like here it is, a strategy. You can still take advantage of short-term rentals, do the same work, but not having that burden of, finding money, using your own money, and then it eliminates that risk. Just learn what to do and then do it for someone else.
Smooth, brother.
Hey,
Very smooth. Back to you, Jay.
All right.
hey, I
And
say
here,
that all the time about the classes. You can take these classes, turn it into a business of your own, and help people inside of that business. It don't matter what the strategy is. I love this, Chan. So my thing is, Chan, because I've helped probably, I literally can count on my hand 6 people that I've helped get into their short term rentals, right? But I definitely didn't set it up this way in terms of. So my question to you is, did you charge the 3,000 above and beyond the 30,000 that you was charging him? So like it was 30 grand, and then you charged him another 3 grand on top, just the beginning.
My 3 grand was in that $7,000 startup cost.
Okay, so it's inside of that. Okay,
Yeah. So he was all in 31K.
gotcha,
nice,
gotcha.
nice. And the reason I look at this even differently is that, I mean, you in your intro you talk about a rental that you purchased and it was like cash flowing like four something $100 a month. Here, you're making money from a real estate investing strategy and making even more without even like having to deal with the landlord and the property, right? You're making more here on a monthly basis than a rental property. And even hearing about $500 cash flow on a rental property, people like, they're like, oh, that's good. But you're making even more just from a strategy, just from your knowledge. So that's what I really like the most about it. You know what I'm saying? Making money without even having the property. It's just your mind is helping you make money.
In
So
this
Yeah.
case, at the closing table, you put money in your pocket at the closing table.
Walk away with 3K. As soon as he
Yeah,
signs the management agreement, the money is, so I can get started. So this is a perfect strategy if you really, don't have the money, don't believe you can get the money, but you know that, I can understand the strategy and
right.
still take advantage of it, you know?
That's what I like. So you're using your knowledge above just, having the money to do the deal. So cool. All right. We got a whole half hour. So I'm gonna open it up. We're gonna move as fast as possible with the answers to the questions so that we can get to, because I know it's a lot in there. So Chin, we're gonna do not really rapid fire, but a little rapid fire. So the first one I saw, oh man, I just had it. Here we go. It's who is this? I don't know who this is. They asked, hold on. I keep skipping.
I got
Sorry.
Jerry as the first question. Is that that's how far back you going, or you going a little further up?
I got a guy, Patrick, who's asking about insurance company recommendations for short.
Oh yeah, I remember when that flashed. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not sure if they're here. I want them to act because I'm not really sure what the exact question is. So Patrick, where is he? If you can come off of mute and ask your question, I'll help clarify what you mean by this. He says insurance companies recommendations for short-term rental. So
Hey,
just can you elaborate?
have I been unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, Pat.
Hey, thank you. Great intro, great information. So what about insurance companies with regard to covering short-term rentals? Is that um the guy has a house, he has a mortgage, he has to have insurance, but if in the event that there is a incident with regard to, short-term rental and a fire, do you need special insurance?
So yes, you can get special insurance just for short-term rentals. There's a company called Proper Insurance and they handle stuff like that.
That's the question. Thank you. Hey, if you could put that in the chat, that would be great.
He came here, got his gem.
Yeah, so it's proper insurance.
Thank
Let's
you.
go, Patrick. Good question. Yeah, I just wasn't really sure what you were getting at with your question, but thanks for clarifying. Appreciate you. All right.
Big Al said he want to know why you don't like carpet, bro. These dudes don't like carpet, bro. None of these New York guys.
Jerry, let
Carpet
me
just
get to it.
stains, man. Carpet stains so much. It's just like an extra maintenance cost every other 2 months or every time a guest comes with a kid or some pets. You just got to have it professionally cleaned sometimes. That's just an extra expense that I'm just really not looking to have. It eats into cash flow. So hardwood floor is always cool. You can just mop it up really quickly, boom, go about your business.
All right. They wanted to know, Alvin also wanted to know what's the square footage in the year the property was built.
Interesting. Square footage is 3,300 square foot, and it was built in 2008.
All right. Shepard wants to know, how did you set up your lease and sublease?
How did I set up? So there is no lease and sublease here. This is just a management deal. So I'm not renting it. I'm not on the hook for any monthly payments. I have no money into the deal, and I'm not subleasing. I'm just setting it up for the owner, setting up his own Airbnb business, short-term rental business, and I'm just managing it so he can, carry out his day-to-day lifestyle because he also works a corporate job and he has a family with kids, so he doesn't really have any time to focus on this business and run it the way it really should.
So you just collecting a check? That's what you're saying?
I'm working for it, but I'm definitely collecting it too.
So if you want to hear more about that, actually on Wednesday, I believe we'll be showcasing more related to that, Shepard, where it's going to be a lease and then the sublease situation. So we're going to showcase another one. Actually, Chinnadu's involved in that one as well, right? So if y'all want to hear about another way he's showing y'all how to make this stuff happen with someone else, you might want to hop on Wednesday to hear about that. All right.
Yeah, there's so many ways to run this business based on your situation. It's crazy, and I'm going to show you guys all of it.
Cool. Ms. Roach wants to know how long does it take to set up your rentals typically?
Typically, a usual rental 1 week. 1 week. The fastest I've done it was a weekend. Have never been able to redo that again. So typically 1 week. The fastest was a weekend, but this one took about 2 months to set up.
Wow.
Who you telling? Man.
Wow. So Ryan talked about the capital. So yes, that's was we was talking about. Um, so Shepard also says, oh, could you give a breakdown on the price of the furnishing?
As far as what?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he
Some
means.
couches came from Temu, didn't they?
I think the couch
Does
is
he
from
want to know
Amazon.
itemized
Yeah, I hope
itemized
Yeah.
list on the furniture?
I hope Shepard, I don't think we're gonna
He
be
We
able
don't
wants
Yeah.
to
do
to.
know
that, Shepard. We
itemized
don't do
list
that.
on the furniture. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
if
chef.
you, Shep, if you come to the summit, that's definitely something you're going to be able to take advantage from. So if that's something you really need, this is not the time for it, but on the summit, you definitely will get something like that. So you can, when you're ready to set up your own units, you can just easily pick and choose furniture that people actually want to stay at.
Bro, the king size came from Temu, bro. The king
The
size.
king size came from Temu.
A lot of stuff. I think this house was furnished 60% from Temu.
60. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel wants to know what's the first step? How much to do it?
The first step, how much to do it?
You might want to come to the summit to get the first step. And as you saw, he got paid to do this process, right? So it all depends on what you're referring to, Daniel. So maybe you might want to get to the summit and better understand the different roles you could play within the short-term rental space.
One of the things I saw when he opened up this tour was when he showed the picture of the property. So how he was looking, just to start, just to help Daniel out just a little bit, is he was you where you found this apartment on Zillow?
Yeah, on Zillow.
Yeah, so starting to be able to identify, definitely come to the summit to identify. You might have missed the beginning, but to start, he was on Zillow looking up rental properties. So now, which ones to pick and if to know if it's a good one to chase after,
Yeah.
that's where the skill comes in. But if you wanted to know, like, yo, where do I start? Yeah, just start looking for rentals on Zillow.
100%. You need some leads, Daniel.
Yeah,
There it is. And we saw that, right? Contract to closing. Go right on Zillow. We
yeah, he was in contract
he
to
was,
close.
that's what I'm saying. He was
He was
so
there.
you know where to start, Daniel.
That's where you start. First, you need leads. There you go.
So Jerry want to know, was the owner trying to micromanage?
Oh man. The owner has done Airbnb before, and he's told me multiple times, I don't know how you do a remote. It's a lot, between him being at work and cleaners calling him and guests calling him and having to be attentive to your phone and the app. He knows what that takes. So I don't want to say he was micromanaging, but he was he man, well, how do I? Yeah, I guess just
Yeah,
for lack of better terms, he was micromanaging. Not every step of the way, but he was definitely wanting to be more involved and vocal than other owners I've managed for. He wanted to know, how is this going? Are we on track? Good questions too, but it's like, bro, I will let you know if there's challenges. I'll let you know about the final product, but we're still in progress. And the owner ended up going there. So one of the reasons why this took so long was the owner was penny pinching, right? They always say that actual real estate investors are the worst people to do short-term rentals because they always want to pinch pennies, right? So he was penny pinching. I'm like, hey, my team can build the house, all the furniture for $3,500. And I throw a little markup on there, because I got to coordinate things, now I'm saying, right? So he was like, I think that's too much. He went on Google. He said furniture builders should be charging about $800 to do it. And he showed it to me. And I'm like, this is a 5 bedroom, 3 bath house. No one's doing anything for $800. So he went on Craigslist. He found a guy who would work for $25 an hour. He said himself and the guy would go to the house and, fly out and build it. And that was the plan. I can't force him to do anything. I can just share, what's a good idea and what's worked in the past for me, so he didn't want to fly me out. He didn't want to go with my people. He thought they were too expensive. And 18 days passed since we made that plan and he hasn't gone yet. And I'm like, bro, like we're about to miss high season. When are you going? He said, I won't be able to go until the 29th. Mind you, this is October 18th. And I'm like, honestly, man, you're looking to save money, you're gonna miss out on so much opportunity looking to save $1,000. So finally he says, hey, you know what, let's go with your guys. So, my guys finally got in there and it just took so long because we didn't know what things were missing, what things got lost at the storage unit, what things never came. So we just had to backtrack for the longest. And the owner ended up flying out there making me videos like I sent you guys earlier. And in the videos, he's just complaining about everything. He's like, this needs to be set up. This is not done. This is not done. And I'm just in my head like, bro, I know, I know we're not done yet. Thank you for pointing out, the obvious. So it was just so much to deal with. But the biggest thing I learned, right? Like I take responsibility for a lot of things. I learned that, I need to do a better job setting the expectation, right? Like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how, it's going to run, and I'm just going to keep you informed, and I really don't need your input. And I also learned like not to let people stop me from doing what works. Like I knew exactly what was going to work. We've done it so many times, and I let his budget control, the entire operation rather than knowing what works. So definitely learn to just, stick to what I know works and not let anybody convince me based on anything. Because we really missed out like on a month of high season. We barely got a Thanksgiving booking. And right now we're just playing catch up as we roll into high season. But yeah, he was micromanaging and he's still kind of doing it now, but now that we're getting bookings, he's finally people switch up when the money start coming in, right? So he's finally started chilling and, not texting me and calling me as much.
I was just tripping because I know it's times where he'll just call you and you look at the phone like, see, this is why I need you to learn how to do this. Then if you're gonna be calling me and telling me how to do it, if you're gonna tell me how to operate it, then I'm in your way. So I get that. That's why I asked that question. And I knew it was gonna take this long to answer it too.
As I was talking, I was thinking to myself, man, what was the question? What was the question? But yeah, this is why having the knowledge is very paramount, right? Literally knowing what to do because when these owners press you, let's say you want to leverage, I have no money, I'm going to leverage just my knowledge, right? People are going to expect you to be the expert and be the professional. So, having the knowledge is important because when the owner starts pressing you about things and starts giving you information, screenshots from Google on things that's not true, you can call it out and set the right tone and, and just be able to get the operation back on track. So having that knowledge is definitely, definitely key for doing management for somebody else.
All right. You have to speed it up.
Still it.
Yeah. So I was gonna bring on Ryan wants to know, would you, so that leads to the next question, which is great. Would you ever work with somebody who's this difficult again?
Yes, yes, only because like I said, like I know exactly what I could have did better, so I do my best to not make it get this difficult again, learning from this experience right here. I'll just set the expectation straight from the beginning.
All right. And you said all rooms had a king size bed.
Always, that's what the people like.
All right. And now Renee wants to know, given the size of the rooms which have have a single king size bed, would you consider adding an additional king size bed?
No, probably not. Like I want it to be like, functional as well. Like I don't want to cram up any of the rooms. We already have 8 king beds in the house. We have a rollaway bed, and then we also have like another pull-out couch. So I think um I think it's more than enough. And I know for sure the owner doesn't want to put any more money into the house.
All right. So
Yeah.
Ms. Royalty wants to know how many people are on your team.
It's just me and 2 other people. Just me and 2 of my assistants.
All right. Matt wants to know, was it difficult to find a reliable cleaner?
No, it was not difficult to find a reliable cleaner. Matt, if you remember from the last workshop, how I showed how to build a reliable team, and I'm definitely going to speak about it again in the summit, but finding a team here that is reliable and good and kind of obsessive like me, it wasn't hard at all.
See, so that's something I would think most people are afraid of, especially out of town. So I highly recommend them getting to your summit to get eased of that headache, to learn more about that for sure. That's
Yeah.
important. That's important to this business for sure.
I've never been to San Antonio in my life, and honestly, if he won't pay for my ticket, I'll probably never visit this house, right?
Mm.
So, just being able to be in New York and still being able to successfully execute on this deal and get bookings rolling in with no other third party is I love it. I literally love it.
But that's crazy. Throw a fire emoji in the chat if you want to learn how to just be at home while your property's operating in another city or state and you still creating money from it. Man, come on, man. Give me a fire emoji if you don't want to learn how to do that. If you don't want to learn how to do that, I don't know. That to me, that's crazy. Like, shout out to you, man, for even being able to finesse that. That's powerful. All right, that summit, man. That summit is power. That summit gonna be a problem, I'm thinking. So Miss Royalty wants to know. Sorry, I skipped her. Do you allow pets?
I've allowed pets depending on my cleaner, right? If I have faith in my cleaner to really clean up well after the pets, I'll allow it. But if I have no faith in my cleaner, the answer is no.
Okay.
How do you judge your faith in your cleaner if you don't have the dog? How do you do it?
Yeah, if they do a bad job just cleaning up after people, like we get complaints that like, any cleaning complaints, if there was no pets, then I'm like, man, if you could even clean up after people well, how you gonna clean up after a pet? So if we get a lot of cleaning complaints, I won't allow pets, but most importantly, I'm already itching on how can I replace you.
All right. Uh, Actually, I'm gonna let this person come out because I'm not really sure. Actually, I don't know. So D Grant wants to know, he would like to develop residential living for seniors so they don't have to live alone. I'm not sure where to begin. Maybe that's, I don't know, D, who got you here? I think that's probably for another session. Um, but yeah, that would be my maybe get back with whoever got you here, and they can maybe guide you in the right direction with that. All right. Shepard is back. He said, is the owner only getting the rent from the lease, or is he also getting a cut from the arbitrage? But in this case, there is no arbitrage, so he's just management. So yeah, come back Wednesday. We got a scenario like that on Wednesday for property tour for you. Yep. But yeah, typically we don't. Yeah, okay, thanks. Big. So Sam, just so you know, Sam who answered in the chat, he does this strategy as well, and he answered for you. So typically it is they're only gonna get from the lease. I mean, they're only gonna get the lease, not from the arbitrage. All right. Okay. Sindrell says, based on your experience with the owner, would you have stipulations of their involvement in the future?
Yeah, so I have stipulations. I just did a very poor job enforcing them. Like if I'll be honest, I did a very poor job enforcing them. Like I was juggling a lot while doing this deal, so I let a lot of things slide. But learning lessons. Like I'm still learning just like you guys and always sharing on how you guys can avoid the mistakes that I've made as well.
Awesome. Uh, so here's back to that word concessions again. So first off, please explain to people what a concession is. And Big Sam wants to know, what did you actually get for concessions? So some people probably have no clue even what a concession is. So if you could explain that.
Nice. I love concessions. Concessions is like the best gift you can ever get in this business. That's when the landlord tells you, you do not need to pay me rent, right? So concessions is just, I'm getting something for free. I'm getting something discounted. But in this case, we're always pushing to have the landlord give us free rent, whether it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So that's what a concession is, just giving someone, something for free. And on this deal, there's no concessions because there's no rent. So I didn't have to negotiate anything besides my management fee, Sam.
Okay, okay. No. Please keep throwing your questions in the chat if you have them. Looks like I'm getting near the end. Okay. So Alvin said, it almost seems like the landlord is losing money. Oh, he said disregard that. Okay. Skip that. Sorry. Daniel says, how many floors did the house have? And do you rent out the whole house or floors?
Yeah, the entire house is 2 floors and we rent out the entire house at one time. Yeah. So no room rentals, just if you book, you got to book the entire house.
Oh, Shepard is back. My man,
Nice.
Shepard is not playing today. He said, how did you choose Texas as your place to do an STR?
Yeah. Oh, I love that question. Man, the meat and potatoes of this business is market research. So I did market research, everything I'm going to show in the summit, how to pick a profitable location. So I did market research on a tool that we use, and it showed me that this area of San Antonio can make really good revenue, right? So that's how I started picking this market and just marketing to landlords in the area, and that's how I found this house.
Ooh,
So that market research turned into $3,000 up front and $600 in my pocket. So it ended up being some good market research.
nice, nice, nice. And that research, are you going to be giving that on your training as well?
Yeah, that's the essentials. Definitely the essentials. Because once you figure out how to find a profitable location, you will never lack money.
All right. I'm going to bring out Jonathan because he asked a question. Jonathan, can you talk, my guy? Mr. Harrell.
Hey
John.
man, how's it going?
What's up, John?
What's going on?
Ask your question you had here about the management.
Yeah, so like if you end up say I wanted to do a Airbnb, if I had to find like a manager doing what you're doing, what does that consist of? Like finding a cleaner, I don't know, like any issues like say the host has. I mean the person renting the Airbnb, would they call you or how would that work out? And what would your job consist of in that management like I guess role?
Gotcha. So basically, what am I doing in this scenario?
Hmm.
Honestly, I'm doing everything, everything that has to Like anything, that's a really good question. I'm literally in control of everything, guest communication, speaking to cleaners, speaking to handyman, pricing, setting up the listing, like every single moving part is on me and my team. Luckily, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this like a professional, right? So although I'm responsible for answering phone calls, answering guests, I'm not the one doing it. So I'm going to show you how to build your team so you can still, make the money, be a manager, but you're not actually the one doing the day-to-day operations. Like as I'm on this here with you guys right now, I'm never going to have to stop and answer a question on my phone from a guest. I'm not gonna have to take any phone calls, but all those things are still handled. So, was management something you were considering getting into?
No, no, just because I am in the I think I'm working with someone right now, a team member. So I want to be familiar with the whole system of Airbnb. So like that way it's good to ask questions. So like if you ever there's an issue, like you know who's taking care of what or whatever the case is.
Yep.
I'm just curious, pretty much.
Nice. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, good question. Good question. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm responsible for everything.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right. He's still here. Let's bring out your guy. Oh man, it's 4:30. Hold on. Before I do that, let's kind of wrap it up for those who gotta go. We're gonna stick around if you got time, Chin, to finish off a little bit more. But if you could bring up the slides again, do you have them in front of you or not? I just want to close it out and give people their next steps of what they can do if they want to learn more about what we got going on. And for those who want to stick around and finish answering the questions, we can do that. So here we go. So we do have the short-term rental intro hosted by Chin, who's talking right now. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Then we're doing a more like general or other strategy of real estate. That'll be happening on Tuesday at 7 p.m. I believe Jerry is going to be doing that. And then if you want to learn more about our community, how we come together and assist people, that'll be happening on Wednesday at 7 p.m. What else we got? We got that tomorrow. Be there, man. I highly recommend y'all get there for this tomorrow, 8 p.m. Man. If you really want to get into this, you want to learn more how to make money from your knowledge. But if you don't have money, right? Make money without having money in real estate, you might want to get on here tomorrow. If that's something that interests you.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this one. I'm gonna show you how to add some zeros to your income. For real.
And then the summit. So you heard him talking about the summit from beginning to end, but this is where he's going to dive deep. December 6th and December 7th, 2-day event. I believe it's a Saturday, Sunday, is it?
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. Pack your lunch because he's going to give a big punch all throughout the day. He's going to be dropping gems and actually showing y'all exactly now. Some of you probably are wondering, but yes, there will be an investment into that. So it does start at $299. That is the coach level training. It goes all the way up to business and then first class tickets. So if you really want to be a part of this, to really dive deep to learn the knowledge and set yourself apart from other people within this business, highly recommend you being a part of this summit. It kicks off again December 6th, December 7th at 11 a.m. Open to anybody on the line. And even if you're not online, right, it's open to any and everybody to be a part of this very, very intricate training that we got going on. Again, hosted by Mr. Chinadu, who's showcasing this deal right now. And I believe that's it, right?
Yep, that was the last slide.
All right, cool. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back into the questions and I want to bring out your partner in crime, who always keeps us on the edge with his questions, Mr. Ryan Newton, the intellect. Big Ryan, you know it's your turn, bike guy. You asked two
Boy,
questions, so I want them to hear your voice. Come on out, Big Ryan.
oh boy. We still recording?
We don't have to be. We can stop. Hold on.
I know the deal.